What's good, y'all? It's Rico. I'm recording a lot of these videos super late just because with my school schedule this semester, I'm usually on the way to class or in class when a lot of this trade news is being broken. But so it was reported Tuesday night that James Harden wanted out from LA, and there was discussions between the Clippers and the Cavs of doing a straight swap of Darius Garland and James Harden, and that caught me completely off guard, and it caught me more off guard that that exact trade happened the very next day, with Cleveland attaching a second round pick to send Garland to the Clippers in exchange for James Harden. So James Harden is a Cleveland Cavalier. Like that doesn't even sound right to me. But so it's honestly just shocking for that trade to happen right now versus at the beginning of the season when the Clippers are doing absolutely terrible. But I do understand it from the standpoint of like they didn't want to just give up on the season that easily and give a top pick to OKC because they're defending champs. Like nobody wants to do that. Let's be real. But right now, the Clippers are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I believe their record for the last 21 games was 16-5, and they're making their way back into the playoffs. They're really close. I believe they're in the play-in right now, or like right outside the play-in. But they were making their way back into the playoffs, and Kawhi, he was deservedly named an All-Star because him and Harden have been playing amazing. The whole team's been playing amazing, so that's why nobody really expected this to go down right now. Like leading up to the trade deadline, nobody was thinking Harden or Kawhi would be gone from the Clippers. But here we are. So, Uno's in Cleveland, but he won't be rocking number one anymore. He'll be wearing 13 again, so that's gonna be good to see too. But this is just why I love NBA trade season. There's always something going on completely out of the blue. Like I said, nobody expected this to happen. There's always just something that shakes up the whole landscape of the league, just completely out of left field. And majority of us were just expecting this trade line to be completely buns. And we didn't get any trades done leading up to this, except the Trae Young trade to Washington, and then we had Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder going to Cleveland in exchange for DeAndre Hunter, which set up the whole foundation for Cleveland to get this trade to land Harden. And I just want to say I absolutely love this for the Cavs, just because that four man lineup that they have going on of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. Like it was great, but they only had like regular season success. Every time they made the playoffs, second round, first round exits, just underperformances, injuries. They never went anywhere. So their window was definitely closing. If they didn't get it done this year, then I believe Garland would have been traded anyway. So I believe they just got it out of the way now because I saw a report that the Cleveland front office also wasn't very confident that Donovan Mitchell will want to sign an extension with the team. So they're getting ahead of that, trying to give him better players to play with. Hopefully, raise their floor to hopefully get through the East because it's wide open right now and have some success to maybe convince Donovan Mitchell to stay with the team. And so, yeah, this team is shooting for championships. They've never made the conference finals with those four players. The duo of Garland and Mitchell really ran its course. And I saw a video earlier where Rich Paul apparently told Garland before the season that this would be his last year in Cleveland, pretty much no matter what. And so Garland has been constantly dealing with some injuries, pretty much that like hindered the team throughout the playoffs, just having to play without him. And so far, like recently, he's had those toe injuries that's been setting him back. And that backcourt duo that they had going on was just absolute food on defense. It still won't be great by swapping out Garland for Harden because Harden isn't really known as a defender, but he's 6'5", 220 versus Darius Garland being 6'1", 192. So, and he's just 100% not as bad of a defender as Garland, and he's just bigger. So that's gonna be an improvement in itself. Then, despite the narrative of him not trying on defense, I do believe with his new star teammate being Donovan Mitchell, he's going to have less of an offensive load on him because he's not like picking up slack for Kawhi because Kawhi would be injured a lot and not be playing. So, Harden's the number one option. His usage rate is extremely high. He's carrying the team. So I do think he'll be able to focus more on the defensive end and be better at that. Although, like I said, he won't still be a great defender. And so the Cavs' new projected starting lineup will be James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Tyson, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, which is pretty solid, honestly. And I think that raises their floor a lot because the most important thing about having Harden over Garland is that he's available. Like, it's not about how he's gonna play in general, like him being a better player, which he is. It's just the fact that he's going to be on the floor playing with the team. So we know Harden is known for really boosting all the big men he's played with, from Dwight Howard, Clint Capella, Nick Claxton, Joel Embiid, then who else? Ivica Zubac most recently, and now he's gonna have the opportunity to do the same thing and make the game significantly easier for Evan Mobley, who's an All-Star DPOY, and Jarrett Allen, who is also a great player. So I do think he's gonna be really good for the team overall, and he's gonna really boost the stats of those two guys and make the whole team a lot better. And now, as a Harden fan, I think it's honestly hilarious how often he's wanted out of his teams and like pretty much demanded trades and been traded mid-season. But I don't know. Organizations do what's best for them all the time. I see no issue with players doing the same. He wanted his extension. He knew he wasn't going to get it. So it's like, okay, trade me to somewhere where I'm going to get my money and have that stability. It's fine. He's one of the more overhated, misunderstood players in the league, in my opinion, because most of the times when he's left his team, I didn't really think it was like the situation was always bad or going downhill, but I never saw it as something really being his fault. He's just really unlucky. Um, So yeah, I saw that it was pretty much a mutual agreement between him and LA to part ways, and he never actually axed out. It's just we know, Harden wants that extension. Like I said, I think he wants a 2-year extension, I believe, and Harden, excuse me, sorry, the Clippers made it clear that they want a hard reset in 2027 and clearing all their books, rebuilding the roster, and just stepping away from the Kawhi Leonard era, because I do believe that he will be next to be moved during the off season or maybe like during next season. And looking at their cap sheet right now, the only people that they'll have on the books for the 2027-28 season are Darius Garland and Ivica Zubac. So obviously, I believe they might plan on keeping Garland, but he's the only person that's going to be under contract that year besides Zubac, who I do think they will end up moving during the offseason if nothing else happens before the deadline tomorrow. But yeah, the Clippers just want a new team. They want to move on from that Kawhi Leonard era. And continuing for LA, getting a return of a 26-year-old two-time All-Star for your 36-year-old All-Star caliber player is not bad at all. It's actually a pretty good return in my opinion, barring injuries, because I do think that there's that injury concern, but I do think you just stay confident that Garland is gonna recover, come back, continue playing as a just great player that he's always been, and the team will pretty much, I think they'll give him the reign over the offense pretty soon. If and when they do get rid of Kawhi, pretty much just give him the keys to just show how good of a player he is, possibly be a number one, number two option, and depending on who they pair him up with again after that. And so I do think like when they do that reset, Garland will fit the timeline because like I said, he is still in his mid-20s, and if they do want to do like a hard reset, he's still a valuable player. They'll be able to find another trade, send him to another team, and things will be fine. But maybe they can like just keep him for like the rest of the season, have him play the next season, and then flip him at the deadline again for another player and some more assets, kind of similar to how the Celtics traded Drew Holiday to Portland for Anthony Simons, let Anthony ball out for the season, and then traded him to Chicago this deadline. But yeah, I mean, just to conclude this whole video, I do this it doesn't even sound right. James Harden is in Cleveland. I do think it's gonna be really fun to watch them play. I'm looking forward to seeing Harden in the playoffs again, seeing how far Cleveland goes. I would say I do like it for the Clippers. They're clearly going in a certain direction. They're gonna try to finally just move on, start a new era. But peace, y'all.